All right, guys, welcome back to the Warrior Unfiltered podcast. And we have reached our 50th episode, a milestone for myself with this platform. And what better way to celebrate it with a special guest? So, in today's episode, we've got a very good friend of mine, also business partner, Patrick. How we doing, man?
Hello, I'm very well. You?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. I mean,
Good, good.
before we started recording this, we know that your morning hasn't been the best. But
Yes, it hasn't. But
what a way to
we
redeem yourself with an episode on
and
the 50th episode.
and a massive congratulations to you on your 50th episode as well. So yeah,
Cheers,
big
man.
well done, mate. Big
Many,
achievement
many more to come, hopefully. So,
indeed.
without further ado, we'll get straight into this episode. I think the good thing is it's been a while since we've had a guest on. So for the past, I think 20 plus episodes, people just had to unfortunately listen to my voice only. So now we've got two very handsome men to look at and two voices to listen to if you're listening on Spotify. So again, like that's what we do here on this platform. We just give. So
You're just a giver, mate. That's all it
that's
is.
yeah, and you're the taker. And we're cancelled. Anyway, we digressed.
Right.
So, fortunately, we have Patrick on today, and admittedly, this is an opportunity for us, more so you, Patrick, to shamelessly promote the birth of your project baby. So, the Posing Society workshop, that's what we're going to run with,
Yeah.
is something like how long have you been kind of like visualizing this project of yours?
I've I you know what? I think I've been visualizing this project since like last year. Like for the last I'll say about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And it didn't actually. But I wanted everything to go perfect. I wanted to make sure like I had everything in plan before even like reaching out to people. And it wasn't until like pretty much like I'll say about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, that I was kind of like at a place where I felt like, okay, cool, this is the time to
Mm.
kind of like bring this out and let people know what is going on behind the scenes and what we're planning to do and all that stuff. Basically, yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We'll get into it shortly because I feel
yes,
like we're
yeah,
getting
yeah,
ahead of ourselves here. But when I approached you with this proposition, it was around
yeah,
the same time that you was kind of in the process of like making
yeah.
it happen.
Lunch, yeah,
So
basically,
we
basically,
crossed paths right at the perfect timing.
yeah. It was
And
just meant to be.
that's, yeah, I mean, that's where the relevancy of myself comes in to this. Again, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but we'll touch on that so the listeners and watchers can understand everything, like where it all came about and what
Mhm.
our goals are moving forward with essentially I want to keep emphasizing on this being your project. You know, this is something that you've worked on, and this is more of a collaboration with myself as
Yeah,
opposed to it being our thing. It's primarily Patrick's business, it's his project, but as a good friend of his for cool, what, a year, 2 years now, something like that. Might even been longer,
um, two. It's more than two. I think it's 2.5 years. I'm not like,
thereabouts.
but
Yeah.
yeah, 2.5 years now.
So
Yeah,
yeah, that
it feels like forever.
friendship. What's that?
It feels like we've known each other forever, though.
It does. It does. That's that kind of friendship that
Yeah,
we created. But yeah, I think from that perspective, I wanted to come in and propose this offer to you, and then you already had something in the pipeline. So as you said,
yeah,
like it was all meant to be. Um,
yeah,
so essentially, what I wanted to do, Patrick, was give you primarily the floor to tell us a little bit about, you know, the pose in society, what made you, you know, want to create this. Did you see kind of a gap in the market? What direction you want to take this in? But before we get into that, I think for the listeners and viewers, to
hmm
preface, if we start with a preliminary of your history as a competitive, actually to emphasize a natural competitive bodybuilder. 'Cause I pulled up your Instagram before we started recording this, and
right.
I just have to say the accolades that I'm seeing on your Instagram bio is outstandingly impressive. We've
Thank you
got,
very much.
for the listeners and watchers, we've got 5 overalls in PCA, Two Bros, and UKUP,
Yeah,
20 first place finishing, uh,
yeah,
4 second place, and 4 third place finishes.
Yes. I mean,
That's
I've got
something.
like some lower placing like that, but I guess there was not enough space to list them there. So
Yeah, we don't need to worry about them as
we don't
long as
need to talk about it. We just
we're
let's
only
talk about
counting
top
the
three.
top 3. Only
Yeah,
counting the
exactly.
podium. I mean, 5 overalls across PCA, Two Bros, UK, UP. How's that distributed? So how many in which ones?
Okay, so I believe it's like one is for I don't know how the first one I don't know how it was because I competed in like men's physique and I competed in muscle model, not that was UK UP. And
Right.
then obviously the overall is like all different classes go against each other. And they just pick the person that fits the class the most. So
Yeah.
I can say, well, I guess I fear the class for muscle model on the day the most compared to everyone else that won their classes. So I guess that's how it was awarded. I was baffled by it, so I don't know how that works. But yeah, so there's
Don't
one for
question it.
yeah, I'll say one for muscle model.
Muscle model. Yeah.
Yeah, one for bodybuilding. Uh, one for men's physique, and then 2 for classic physique.
So essentially, Patrick is a hybrid bodybuilder.
Yes,
He's
yeah,
completed all classes,
yeah, basically,
almost all federations, but definitely all classes.
yeah, yeah. I think there's
Um,
like a fair couple of federations I've never competed with, but I would like to do next time I'm
have you
competing.
done NFM UK?
I haven't, but I believe they're going up. They'll be shut down this year, last year, I
Yeah,
believe, which is
yeah. That's why I brought it up because I was going to say
yeah,
this is their final year.
yeah. I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I'd done last year now because it would have been nice to have competed with them and just had that under the belt. But yeah, such a shame.
Yeah. I mean, you can see for those who are watching just off to your left.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Let's give you a little
I
tour.
mean, you got to show that off.
Yeah, just a little tour of like the trophy cabinet over there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very impressive, man. And yeah, it's people like you, which I retired. I'm better with the brains, so to speak. So yeah, I think the first question that most people would want to know is how long have you been competing for? Like when
Okay,
did you
so
start and how many years in that?
yeah, so my first year of competition was 2021, I believe.
Right.
Then I did 2022, then 2023 last year.
So it's relatively recent then.
Yeah, it's
More
very
recent
recent.
than I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah. It's like literally, I've done 3 seasons so far. So I'm still not much. I'm still like a baby in this world. So a lot of room to grow. A lot of room to grow.
So just for comparison, I've been competing since 2017 and
Okay.
I've only won one show. So
I just got lucky, I guess. I got very
all right, yeah,
lucky.
is that how it is?
Yeah,
No,
so
I
3 years
mean,
I've been competing for now. Yeah.
so yeah, 2021.
2021, I did 2 shows. I wanted to do more, but sadly, it was my first season. I didn't anticipate how tough prep was going to be towards the end.
Right.
And I think after my final show, I lost my dad as well that year. So after my final show, I was like, you know what? I think I need to take time off and just focus on the family. And then the following year, 2022, I believe I did 6 or 7 shows.
Right.
And then last season, I did 11 shows in total, all over the place.
11.
11 shows in total last season. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. So there was a
That must have
few.
taken a toll on your body, like
Yeah. I think
physically and
like
mentally.
it's because I had like a final goal of doing the Two Bros natural finals in Lille. And that was until the end of the year. So it was I think my first show was end of August. So I competed pretty much throughout. And there was a couple of weeks where I didn't compete or like there was gaps between shows. But yeah,
Yeah.
there was a lot of back-to-back shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year was it? I think it must have been 2022 when you done your show, then you went off to Thailand.
Yeah, that was 2022. Yes, yeah. So I did UK DFBA. That was also like my first ever natural fed that I competed with. I had before we start, by the way, before I started bodybuilding, I had no idea there was like there was difference between natural feds and assisted
Yeah.
federation, like open
I
classes.
remember you saying that to me.
Yeah. And I literally just I went to watch my friend compete, Connor Flanagan compete at PCA. So the only show I knew of was PCA. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna compete. And I was just thought everyone just competed there. I genuinely didn't understand like people were taking, like, I knew of people taking, being assisted and stuff like that, but I was not so in depth with it. And I just remember competing. So only federation I knew was PCA. So the first season I didn't even do I didn't even research in terms of what shows I could have done, or I didn't know about UKDFBA. So 2022 was the first year I did a national federation, which was UKDFBA, and I didn't make the finals, and I was like really gutted. And then I was like, okay, cool, this is my goal now. I have to make UKDFBA finals. Went to Thailand for 3 weeks. Came back.
Yeah, I remember
PCA
I was
when I came back.
brutal to you
Yeah.
while you were in
Yes.
Thailand.
Yeah. Literally, I was like, okay, I don't know why I'm here. I'm like, it's already booked. It was for my birthday trip, so it's already booked. So, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy myself, but at the same time, I'm gonna be straight because I know I'm on plan and I've got a shot as soon as I get back. And yeah, luckily I stuck to plan when I was out on the trip. Still had a great time. Came back and then did PCA, and that was when I got my first men's physique overall. So yeah,
Yeah,
that was
I
really
remember that.
phenomenal. Yeah,
I remember that. I was watching that one because I think that was around the time that I had moved to
I believe so.
I think
Yes,
so.
yeah,
So I remember I was obviously keeping an eye on Instagram for updates, and then
yeah,
I saw the
yeah.
post come up, and you took the overall because it was it was the two bros natural, wasn't it?
No, that was after that. that
Okay,
was a
that was
show
the other
after
one.
that. Yeah, it
What was the
was
one
a
before?
PCA Jersey, I believe it
Oh
was.
yes,
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, the PCA,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then the two bros one was afterwards. That's
Afterwards,
the one
yeah.
where you stole my posing routine from.
Yeah, I stole your song. So
So
the story behind that is basically Harry played this song for me, like in a gym, and he showed me a routine and I said, oh my god, this song is perfect, it's so good, like it's incredible. And anyway, I'm trying to find a song for the finals, like for the two bros event, and I'm like driving my car, and the song plays in the car, and it's instantly I connect to the song. And usually the way I pick the song up perform to is like I have to have a really good connection with the song. And I'm driving, and obviously it's because I must have heard the song before. Literally, I was driving, and it came on the radio, and literally I could feel my body move into the song, and I was like, "This is it. This is a song I'm going to do my routine to." And I'm like, "Harry, I've got a perfect song." I didn't tell Harry what song it was, and then yeah, I competed, and he heard the song on stage, and I was like, "Pat, you stole my song." I was
yeah,
like, "Ah,
it,
shit."
it took me a while again because that's the one I was thinking about. That's the two bros one, and I remember seeing the reel. I think I was so
Yeah,
overwhelmed with like excitement because you took the overall, and then when
yeah,
you
yeah,
posted the reel of your individual routine, they were
yeah.
playing the song, and it took maybe like 5-10 seconds into the routine. I was like, hey, and I went, wait, hold on a second, that's my song.
That's my song.
Yeah,
That's
so
literally how it was. Like,
I went from being proud to being annoyed, but
just
fully
instantly like
deserved.
that.
Fully deserved, though. Fully deserved.
Oh man,
So
it was a great song. I connected really well with it. So I'm glad I'm sorry that I stole your song, but I'm
that is
glad I
fine.
did it justice for you.
Yeah, we actually spoke about it the other day. I did eventually do a routine to that song.
Yeah.
But recently I did speak about this on, I think, the previous episode or a recent episode about my phone being stolen. And the video was on that phone, and
Right.
unfortunately it
Yes.
didn't
Yeah.
save
Yeah.
on the iCloud. So
Yeah.
that one was saved in the archive. I never managed to post it to the gram. So
Hmm.
that one's going to be lost forever. We will never see
I
that one.
know. It's gone.
But
It's
yeah,
gone with the
I
wind.
did do a routine, and I actually got the best poser awards at that show.
Nice.
So I know you got an overall, but did you get that?
I didn't get it that show. No,
All
I did the following year though.
right, fair enough. All right, fair enough. No one likes to show off. So just to summarize there, you started competing in 2021. So
Yeah.
essentially you've done three consecutive seasons,
Yes. Yeah.
2021 through to 2023. Now
Yeah.
you're in your off season in
Yeah.
preparation for 2025.
That's the goal. Yeah. The goal is to get try and put on some good amount of tissue and be a bit more competitive for 2025. So it's kind of like just gauging to where we are. at the start
Yeah.
of the year, and
Is
then
there
see go from there.
is there like any specific goal that you're aiming for 2025? Like a specific federation, a specific overall
Um,
odds, what?
I mean, it's not such a. I can't say us of I'm aiming for an overall. I mean, I feel like it's like it puts a lot of pressure on you as an athlete anyway. Like when you set goals like that, obviously I want to go. I just want to make sure that when I do step on stage, I'm like, I want to be. You know, when you sometimes you people walk into a room and you can just send you like, oh shit,
Mhm.
okay, I'm in trouble because this guy looks good. I want to be able to have that presence. That's my goal. I want to. I don't want to just do shows for the sake of doing shows. I want to make sure that when I do step on stage, people are like, okay, I understand why.
An impact. You want to have
Yeah,
that
I
impact.
want to have that impact when I step on stage. So that's my main goal. Making sure that everything that I can bring up to make my physique look more incredible is what I'm aiming for.
Cool.
Yeah,
I like that. I think that's becoming a more like prevalent thought process now with competing. A lot of
yeah,
athletes are taking the inundated pressure of setting like specific goals. This is what I'm aiming for. Like, ultimately we have long-term goals. We want to pursue
yeah.
a pro card, or we want this, that, blah, blah, blah. They're the personal subjective goals. But I think objectively speaking, it's like don't put that pressure on yourself. You're always looking
Yes,
to beat your previous best. In
yeah.
your situation, you want to have that impact on other people. So when you do show up at these shows, it's kind of like, oh wow, look at this guy, I'm in trouble, as you said, which it doesn't cause as much external like pressure
Hmm.
psychologically. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I've noticed that a lot of within my athletes as well. The way that I'm kind of approaching the timelines that I'm putting together for my athletes. So
Hmm.
like we've got an end target in, let's say, 3 years time, 5 years time, or whatever it may be, but in that one specific macro phase for that contest prep, it's like, right, we're not going to cause too much stress, and right, it's this is
Yes.
the
Yeah.
end goal or you're a failure.
Yeah. 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 Of course. Yeah. And I
Uh,
think like this that nowadays as well, the industry is so like there's too many people involved where they're like they made the main focus about I've got to do this, and then they publicize everything about their show, which is, I guess, great in terms of like promoting their account or like trying to get a huge following and all that stuff. And I respect that, and everyone's still on. But for me, I never really, if anyone that knows me knows that I never really tell anyone about my shows I'm doing. I
mm,
never publicize anything about the shows I'm doing until I've competed, and
mm.
then people will know, okay, I've competed, blah blah. This is how it went, and that's it. That's how I keep people up there. Just because I hate that external pressure of people like, oh, like literally the day before show, the last thing I want to be seeing people going, oh, good luck, you're gonna smash it, you're gonna smash it. I hate seeing that because straight away I'm like, oh my god, okay, great. Now they expect me to do good. Like, if it, like I have my own way of handling my pressure, handling pressure and dealing with it, but stuff like that just kind of just escalates it, and I'd rather just keep everything away and just focus on task at hand, which is to make sure I deliver what I came to do, basically.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's easier to mediate your own like expectations, but then
yeah,
you've got additional external expectations being set
yes,
from your friends and your you could say your um rivals, however you
yeah,
want to term it, then
yeah,
it adds it's that cumulative pressure that you're putting on top of yourself. So yeah,
yeah,
it's a good approach.
and just to add to that as well, like I know, like a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, you're only competing against yourself. You're only, yeah, bro, come on, yeah, no one's gonna go on stage. Yeah, I get it. I'm trying to be in my look last time, but for me, I'm not just trying to be in my look on the last time. I'm trying to beat everyone on stage. So if I go on stage, it's not just about being my last look. It's about being everyone on stage. So it's I think that's just the competitive side of me of things for me. So I have to make sure like I'm bringing my best all the time.
Yeah, I think it was you and I that had the conversation where one of the federations, it was recently when I came around Jaws,
Right.
and we were talking about UKDFBA, and
Yes. Yeah.
what it was, and you said like backstage, everyone was
Oh
so
yes,
friendly. There
bro.
was that
Okay.
camaraderie and everything, and
Yeah.
everyone was
I don't
so
think
friendly. Everyone was, lifting each other up, encouraging one another. But as soon as you stepped on stage,
it was a bloodbath. Like
friendship gone.
honestly, it was the best experience ever, and I love that. And I genuinely enjoyed that experience because it was it was UK DFBA finals, And backstage, like just said, described, everyone was just like very friendly, encouraging each other, just like, having a little bit of banter. And as soon as we stepped on stage, it was like war. It was like every man for themselves. And I'm sorry if I swear today, but it was amazing. Just like, you knew that, okay, cool, we're all friends, but right now it's competition.
Yeah.
Everyone was locked in, switched on, did what we had to do. And as soon as we came back off stage, I was like, oh, well done, you did a great job. And that was it. And it just felt great, just because we knew that right then and then. It was, even though we all sort of pass and we all get onto each other, we all basically competitive, like we've been competing against each other all season, I believe. I believe that when most of us competed against each other at least a couple of times last season. So it was nice to actually come to the final conclusion of like it went head to head. And every single person that lined up, or I believe there was 12 of us in total,
Yeah.
was just incredible, like phenomenal athletes. And it could have gone either way.
It's good though. That is how it should be. I think there's a lot of controversy behind it, especially like if you look at other sports. The I think the quintessential example would be like boxing. You
Yeah.
see the whole build up to it, the press conferences and all these
Yes.
views.
Yeah.
You know, they're talking smack about one another. They're bringing in people's families and partners and all that sort of stuff. And then as soon as they're done with that
Yeah.
match, they're hugging, they're kissing, shaking hands. It's like, oh yeah, well, they were talking smack before. That's how it is supposed to be from like a marketing
Yes. Yeah.
standpoint. But kind of in our realm of bodybuilding, you've got to have that camaraderie outside of competing. That's how
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
like we network with other people. But as soon as
Yeah.
you step on stage, it's all business.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly that,
How it
mate.
should be. And I
Yeah.
think it's also extremely entertaining for the audience as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you are
Yeah.
just overly friendly on stage, then where's that kind of exhilaration of that rivalry?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So
So yeah, it was a great experience. I will always remember that experience.
cool.
Yeah.
Right. So I think to correlate with
Mm-hmm.
Posing Society workshop,
Mm-hmm.
um, I know personally, and I'm going to be completely biased here. You are infamously known for your exuberant, elegant, and streamlined posing.
So
I've seen that firsthand in person in the studio. I've seen it on stage as well. I've seen it on your social media. So that's obviously kind of like your niche posing, apart
yeah.
from winning as well, your ability to just rake in all the trophies. So the question that I have, which I think the viewers would also be thinking, what kind of like did you feel was missing in the industry in relation to posing at shows or externally from shows, as a spectator or as the competitor, maybe like backstage or those sort of things. What did you like notice from like people's posing perspective that kind of gave you this idea of starting up the posing society?
It wasn't so much of like looking for a niche or like a way to get into the industry. It was more so like, I know it's just lack of like connection when people performed. So it's like no emotional connection when people performed. And I came from a background. I come from a background of performance. I do cheerleading and competitive like performance sports pretty much growing up. So for me, like when we step on stage for cheer, it's like you putting a full on show. Like you are performing for the crowd, and like it's just instant. Like yeah, okay, cool, they're drawn in, and it didn't really matter about like how great your skills were. Like you could do the hardest skills in the world, and if you don't put any sort of connection or like passion behind it, like the crowd will not relate to it. They will not remember it.
Mm.
So from coming from that background and going to bodybuilding, I saw there was a lot of times I'll go and see shows and I watch shows and I see people do their routines, even doing comparison rounds. There was like literally no lack of like, there was like lack of connection. There was lack of personality. There was just, it was just like meh. You know what I mean? And for me, I was like, oh, this is just boring. Like, and now kind of wanted to kind of bring that flair into bodybuilding where like you can perform and people can actually remember you for your stage presence rather than just a physique. You know what I mean? So I thought, okay, this is something I feel like is missing, and this is something I want to kind of help bring into the industry. Like, and everyone I've had the opportunity to work with is something that I do my best to draw out of them and make sure that they understand why they're doing it, they
Mm.
understand the meaning behind it, how they can connect to the music, how they can relate to they can get the crowd relating to what the message you're trying to send throughout the performance, and rather than just doing a routine. And that was just something I thought was, I think it's very unique, and I wanted to kind of bring more into the industry, basically. Just a good connection with the music and kind of way to tell a story.
Well, yeah. So you would say ultimately it's more like a subjective interest in the other people or yourself, whoever
Yes.
it may be, to have that connection with that song, to
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
showcase that energy through their art of posing.
Yes.
Because I
Yeah.
think for some of the listeners who don't know, obviously, when it comes to the individual routine, so to contextualize, the individual routine is where the athlete comes out, they've got 60 seconds at the amateur level. When you're in
Mhm.
the pro ranks, you've got, is it 3 minutes, I think?
I believe it's three
Yeah,
minutes. Yeah.
I think it's about 3 minutes that you have for your individual routine. But that 60 seconds is to showcase your posing in any kind of like freestyle
Hmm.
format. But you don't get judged on it. There's
No,
no
you don't.
marking
No.
on it. You don't get marked down for points towards your placing for your individual routine. That's why I wanted to ask, what made you so passionate about the individual routine and showcasing that elegancy within your posing when it's kind of irrelevant, which I think is extremely unfortunate. I think it's a big, I mean, it's the foundation of bodybuilding, our posing. So it is very unfortunate that it doesn't
Yeah.
contribute to the overall score.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
think.
go on.
I think it's like, yeah, I do agree. It's kind of like unfortunate that we don't get, most federations don't. I believe some federations you do get rewarded for it, but majority of federations you don't, because it's the second round. They've already made a decision from the comparison round anyway. So it's just kind of like, in their eyes, just like an opportunity for you to showcase your hard work through your artistry of your routine and how you present your physique, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's more like it's just an opportunity for you to kind of bring like a good connection from what, especially in like classic's about art, it's about flow, and it's just a great opportunity for you to kind of like showcase that part of bodybuilding, and not just about having just a great physique. It's more than that. It's more than, it's passion. It's like love heart when you do a routine. So that's what I wanted to kind of present and kind of like help bring more into the industry, basically.
Yeah. It's amplifying the uniqueness of classic
Yes.
fashion
Yeah.
100%. Because as you say, I think if you're looking at both female and male federation, you've got classic and wellness. I think these
Yes.
are the two classes which are predominantly just genetic based.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the flow that classic division has with the streamline physique, the vacuum, the lines, the striations, all that sort of stuff. The best way to showcase that is through your posing. You
Yeah.
can have
100%.
an absolutely outstanding physique, and I've seen it, and they haven't placed well because of their posing.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And also, I've seen there's multiple times where I've seen like even pro standard athletes go on stage, and they're just moving from here to there, and just think, what the hell are you doing? Like, come on, how have you got this far in this industry and not know how to present your body in an aesthetic way? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just almost like you're just watching them move from. And for me, that doesn't cut. Like, if you're gonna get to a pro standard, then you need to make sure like you know how to present your body well. You know how to like make just make it graceful, like fun to watch you on stage rather than just being on stage.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
How many times have you been to shows and an absolute banger of a song comes on,
Oh,
and then they come out, and we mean no disrespect to anybody, but sometimes it's so underwhelming to see
yeah,
that performance, because you can, explicitly see that they haven't put the effort and time into
yeah,
their individual routine. And it's like, it's such a classical song, such an
yeah,
iconic song that they're playing, but the
yeah,
posing doesn't reflect it. And it's so disappointing. It's such a letdown for the audience. And I think that's another thing to really emphasize for the listeners. As the audience, we want to see that. When we hear this iconic song and we're like, okay, we're excited now. We're looking
Yeah, yeah,
for a very good routine, and then it's disappointing, or as I said, it's underwhelming. So,
yeah.
having that as well, it has that impact, kind of correlating with what you said, having
Hmm.
that impact, and then people end up remembering who you are. So you go beyond just that one show. People
Yeah,
remember you, and then your name's being spoken about outside of just that one show or that one season that you've done. And that's how you build your reputation in this industry.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I
Right.
mean, if you look at the likes of like someone like Rob Diesel, when he presents his routines, if he's just phenomenal. You're just in awe because you're like, this is just art, and that's what, yeah, essentially it's all about.
And it gets to a point like this where you're
Yeah,
now referencing him
yeah,
because he's remembered for his style of posing. So that's how you get your name out there. That's how you get that exposure and that recognition.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
100%.
it plays a big part. So obviously what we'll do is we'll just touch on the first seminar that we done. So do you want
Uh-huh.
to talk about that one?
Yeah, so we did like our first posing seminar. This was on, I can't remember the dates off the top of my head now, but it feels like ages ago, even though it wasn't that long ago. Do you remember the date?
About a month or so ago.
But yeah, I believe it was the start of August or mid August. Yeah, it
Whenever
might be
it
the
was.
start of August. Yeah,
Mhm.
whenever it was. Yeah. Anyway, so we had it was a last minute thing where I had a few people inquire about it. Hey, are you gonna do a posing camera or anything like that soon? And I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I've got something in the pipeline, but just bear with me. As I had a lot going on at the time with coaching, with um work, with everything else, and just trying to get myself back on track for it with my off season. And once everything was out of the way, we kind of got it going. And like I said, it was a very, very last minute. I think we had like literally a week and a half to promote it. Great turnout. Alex Harris come and be the guest speaker there, guest posing coach then came along with me, which was very, very handy because it helped out with the numbers that was there. And it just went, it was amazing. Everyone that turned up enjoyed it. Everyone that turned up learned a lot. And it kind of like created like a little community for ourselves where like now people are more interested in doing more, which is why we plan on doing this more.
We've we've had a very big positive response
Yes,
as
yeah,
we went to
yeah,
that first one. So obviously just a shout out to the owners of the gym. So the first workshop that we did was in Milton Keynes at
yeah,
Fierce Gym.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, so you can check them out on Instagram. I think it's just at Fierce Gym. So that's
that's right.
FIERCE Gym.
Yeah,
And like I said, I think we had, what was it, like 7 people in total,
yes,
thereabouts.
we started off, there was like uh 9 in total, and then we had like 2 had left early
Oh,
because of the
okay. Yeah, that was it.
yeah.
Yeah, so obviously a nice number of people to show up initially, and it proved to be very successful.
Yeah,
I think it had a very positive response afterwards. I know immediately subsequently there was a few people inquiring about the next one.
yeah,
There's other people who have spoken either to myself or to you saying like,
yeah,
I need some posing lessons. And then we are talking about, obviously we've got the Posing Society workshop and we're planning some dates for future shows or future
hmm,
workshops, however you want to term it. So I think already people are asking collectively for when the next one is. And I think that will be a perfect segue for us to talk about the announcement of the dates for the next one.
yes, yeah.
So,
So
go on.
yeah, so the date that we're looking at the moment is the 21st of September,
Yeah.
which is we're planning to do the next one. We're getting everything done in behind the scenes so we can get it out to you guys as soon as possible. But yeah, that's the date that we get to discuss so far.
Yeah.
Um,
So, again, this one is going to be held at Alpha Neon's Dark Side Gym. This is based in Gloucestershire, owned by a close friend of mine, Adrian. We go way back, me and Adrian. So obviously we had a business meeting not long ago, didn't we? And we were
yeah, yeah,
discussing where we wanted to do the next show. Initially, we
yeah,
were thinking about doing it around here, like Southeast London, but it's quite difficult for location, getting here for a lot of people who are coming from further up north. So we decided to travel out. So this one, like I said, is going to be based in Gloucester. Again, you can check them out on Instagram. I think it's at Alpha Neon's Dark Side Gym. What I'll do is I'll tag everything in the description. But yeah, that one's going to be held on the 12th of September. We're looking at doing 1 till 4 p.m.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So what we will do is we will do a couple of promotions on our social media platforms nearer the time, just putting out there the dates, confirmation of everything. But yeah, hopefully it's going to be another good turnout, and then we'll start planning the future ones.
Yeah, and just to add to this, we are currently working with having a female opposing coach as well. So yeah, that's in the pipeline. So hopefully at the moment everything's like 90% there. So we just need to make the final confirmation. And then yeah, as you ladies know, we get a lot of everyone always asks for bikini. I'm not a bikini athlete, so I don't wanna I wanted to bring you someone that has the same kind of like I that have posing. And we've got an incredible athlete coach that will be coming down to work with you ladies as well. So yeah, we will let you guys know the further details of that.
It'd be nice and diverse in that inclusiveness.
Yes, yeah,
All
yeah,
genders and all classes, which is going to be really good.
yeah.
So
Which
yeah,
I think you guys are more excited about than seeing me and Harry wear high heels walking, trying to teach you guys to pose. So
I
yeah, we'll
mean,
get the ladies to deal that with me.
don't tempt people. We'll end up having a poll. We'll put a poll out, and they'll end up having us in the bikini,
Exactly, in the lineup, mate.
suits
Let's
and
go.
heels. I mean,
Men's wellness.
yeah, we can't deny we've all done it. Don't lie, we have
Yeah,
done it at some
yeah.
point. Right, so I think we will wrap it up there. Again, as always, thank you for coming on. Again, just giving you the opportunity to promote this project baby of yours, and hopefully it's going to be extremely successful this year and for the foreseeable future.
Thank you so much for having me. And again, big congratulations on your 50th episode. And I'm glad to have been featured on the 50th episode because that's a milestone in its own. So yeah, well
Many more
done,
to
mate.
come. So as
Many more.
always, you can check myself out on Instagram at trainbywarrior_. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me under at _original_fat with PH80_Pat1.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's a
I'll
bit
put
long.
that all in the
Yeah,
description anyway,
or just look for Krabby Patty. That's probably easier to find out.
or that one. Right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thanks, Pat, again for coming
Thank
on.
you for having me.
Speak to you on the next one. Cheers, guys.